This is the Ben Mulroney Show, and it is the Ben Mulroney Show wherever you find us. It's the Ben Mulroney Show on radio. It's still the Ben Mulroney Show on a streaming platform. It's a Ben Mulroney Show as a podcast. And, of course, you can find at Ben Mulroney Show on all social media platforms as well as on YouTube. The summer months are always the months of pride festivals across the world. We had the one in Toronto. Of course, there was Ottawa and Montreal and Vancouver. And something's going on with Pride, where it used to be a huge celebration where the gay community, members of the LGBTQ2A plus community could come together, allies could come and celebrate inclusion, right? Everybody could see themselves in that rainbow flag. That's the whole point of the rainbow flag. It recognizes everyone and gives everyone a chance to be seen and respected. And in a city like Toronto, it's for people like myself who are not gay, it was nice to see the progress that's happened in a city like Toronto, where in the 60s there was life for the gay community was not what it is today. And so there was that achievement that was something to celebrate as well, something that a lot of people can get behind. And look, I know some listeners and viewers of the Ben Mulroney Show are not of the same opinion as I, but I love living in a world where that is friendly and open and welcoming to members of that community. Full stop. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine, but we're not going to fight about it. And do you remember in 2016 when BLM stopped the parade in Toronto? Justin Trudeau was walking in that parade, and they stopped the parade and refused to let it move until their list of demands was agreed to by Pride. And the head of Pride signed a document. I claim he signed it under duress, which means it has no legal value, because if I'm the guy who's in charge of Pride, and the prime minister is waiting in the parade with buildings between him. You know what they call that in the military? That's a kill box. And so I don't want anything to happen to the prime minister, so I'm going to sign anything to get this thing going. Well, it was demonstrated in 2016 that if you have an issue and you cause trouble, you're going to get what you want. And the same thing happened in Vancouver this weekend when Prime Minister Mark Carney was there, and there's a picture of him giving a hug to a guy who's wearing, I guess, just a pink thong, and that is Pride. And you might take offense to that. I do not. I smile when I see it. It is what it is. But while he was there, the parade was stopped, and it was stopped by people who say no pride in genocide. Of course, it was those supporting Hamas that decided that they were going to take issue and they were going to stop that parade until they got something. I don't know what, but they were going to get something out of that parade. And look, I could talk as long as the segment will allow, but I think it would be important to hear from a member of the gay community, a fantastic member of the media community as well, and a good friend of mine, actually, Leslie Roberts. He's a former television journalist and news anchor. He was on a Toronto radio station on 640 Toronto with Greg Brady. And here's what, actually, I got to give you the context, right? So in Montreal, they have their own problem because in Montreal, they decided to deny the Jewish community from walking in the parade. Isn't that great? Here's why Leslie Roberts says we should care.
Here's why your listeners need to care if they're not in the community. It's taxpayer funded. I'll give you the example. Here in Montreal, $7 million budget for the Pride Festival, and 30% of it comes from all levels of government. So these are tax dollars at work. The problem and the controversy specifically you're talking about here in Montreal is the decision by Montreal Pride to exclude a group. What group? The Jewish community. Why? Because Pride says they stand for oppressed people, in this case, and they mention it specifically in their statement, the Palestinians, and they go on to say genocide. So they're going to say, sorry, no Jews allowed. Here's the problem, Greg. These are Jewish Canadians. These are not Israelis. What's the connection? Oh, yeah. their identity. This is blatant anti-Semitism, in my opinion.
It is anti-Semitism. And look, I don't know what else to do. I can't tell you how many times I open up my phone and I open up Twitter and I see a spokesperson for Hamas saying that when we finally take over, we are going to make sure that every single homosexual is killed and eradicated from our space because they are abhorrent and they are counter to nature and counter to God, and we're going to kill them all. You know, if this is who you want to throw in with, and you don't want to throw in with the only place in the Middle East where you are free to be gay, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Pride is not what it used to be. I told you what I thought it was off the top back in the day, and it is not what it used to be. Here's Leslie Roberts commenting.
You know, in previous years, it's been canceled. Why? Because the organizer didn't have a proper security plan. The morning of the parade, the word went out the parade wasn't going to happen. It was probably a better thing because of what has happened in previous years, specifically by protesters. The whole theory of celebrating the victories, to stand on the shoulders of those who fought for what we have today, is all lost. So I think that it's almost lost its meaning, Greg, to be honest.
Yeah, well, and that's how a lot of people in the gay community feel. They feel it's been co-opted by some radical politics and some pretty violent rhetoric that, you know, if you do not agree with every single thing laid out by a particular group, then you are somebody with a phobia that needs to be eradicated and shouted down and insulted and demeaned and dehumanized. There have been a number of sponsors in Montreal, Toronto, as well as Vancouver, who have decided to sit out Pride at least this year. Some are calling it a rise of conservative politics. It may just be that the economy sucks and these companies are deciding to put their money elsewhere, or it may be that these are becoming polarizing events. What used to be family-friendly, inclusive events have become anything but. And brands that want to be inclusive and want as many people using their brands as possible do not want to be associated with groups that shout down, scream, hurl insults, and marginalize anybody that doesn't agree with them. It's not as simple as just saying, oh, it's a rise of homophobia and transphobia. That's an easy answer with absolutely no proof behind it. Canada, it was recently said last week, as a matter of fact, it was said that Canada is one of the top most welcoming countries in the world for the LGBTQ2SI population. If you are a member of that group, you will be welcomed in Canada. So don't give me this crap that there's a rise of conservatism in Canada. There may be a reaction to some of the nonsense that's being spouted on that side that is being politicized and weaponized by the right. But the genesis of it is started with almost like a militarization and a militancy on the left and amongst certain members of that community. And others are saying, that's it. We don't want to be part of it. We're not bringing our families down there. We're going to spend our money. And corporations are saying, we are not participating either. And as far as Montreal goes, how dare you take public money and then exclude taxpayers from joining your parade? If you want to take taxpayer money, then all taxpayers should be allowed to participate, including Jewish Montrealers. Shame on you. Shame on you. And you know what? If you get sued into oblivion, good. Maybe a different group will take your place, one that actually does espouse the fundamentals of what Pride used to be. And if you are going to be this political movement that does not preach what they say they do, then I do hope that the Jews sue you. I hope they sue you into oblivion. And I hope a different group takes over, one that is much more in keeping with what Pride used to be. Thanks so much for watching the show. Now, if you enjoyed what you saw, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another episode of The Ben Mulroney Show.